Well, let's get right into it. Barrister Darlington,
yes.
You are a lawyer. I would like for you to take us through. These people are asking the president, to use his constitutional powers,
yes.
To release him. The case is already in court. Does the constitution allow that?
Yes.
For the president to say, okay, take this case out?
Yes. There is a constitutional provision for that.
Okay.
And when you look at it, it has been exercised before in the case of Shawore, where the Attorney General, of course, with the decision of the president, asked them to enter nulli prosecute. That means we no longer want to prosecute this case. The federal government has the power to do that. It's on record. They have done it. I'll give you examples. And so they can do it, no matter the situation, as long as it's criminal in nature.
Okay.
The federal government can say, look, we don't want to continue this case. And they have done it even milder cases.
Milder cases?
Yes, milder
cases. That is, cases are less serious than this.
Exactly. And they have used equally cases of treasonable felony.
Okay.
It has been done. So, I am thinking that now that somebody is saying it from the National Assembly, and they are the lawmakers, remember that this is not the first time. There was a time 52 of them equally wrote. This one is no longer an Igbo thing. We don't have up to 44 lawmakers from Eastern region. So it means that all the lawmakers from all the geopolitical zones are involved here.
Okay, it has a national
yes, that will tell you that it is a consensus here. And then there was a time equally 52 of them wrote on the same issue.
Now,
if they can go to, look, let me come please. If they can go to UK and plead for the release of Ike Kuremadu, whom the UK judiciary have taken care of his case, why can't you do this one that is under your nose? Because you are not getting anywhere with the case. From all indication, this man has been freed by your own court. Nnamdi Kanu is not the owner of the appeal court that freed him. It's a government institution. Okay. They have already freed him before. Why not based on that and say, okay, based on the judgment of appeal court, or you go home?
All right. Okay. Now, Barrister, a lot of people have been saying, look, people have not begged for Nnamdi Kanu. People are headstrong and all of that. IPOB is headstrong. The Igbo nation has not gone to Koto to the Nigerian state for his release or what. What does this portend? What does this represent? For the four lawmakers, their action, what does it represent?
Look, listen very well. Whoever said that is one of their propagandists, Ms. Okoro, with what Nnamdi is alleged to have done and what is going on in that, which one is worse? Please tell me. On that basis alone, your conscience will tell you that this man is innocent. He has not done 1/4 of what Toju Bello and his fellow travelers are doing in the north. He has not done 1/4. 1/4. Is that not enough? Why did Nnamdi Kanu threaten Tinubu's wife that they should kill her because she's an infidel? These are facts on ground. So on what basis are you holding him? Anybody say that thing is a propagandist to the court, because all the prominent Igbo leaders have gone to plead on his behalf. It's on record. From Buhari to Tinubu, they are going to plead on Nnamdi Kanu's release. So who is saying that people are headstrong, that you are not pleaded for him? I mean, look at it. The other people that you are giving a soft landing, who pleaded on their behalf before you do what you did? Who pleaded on their behalf? Not to talk of every Igbo, Ohaneze, all the chieftains from within and outside, they have pleaded, release this man.
Now, Barrister, the question I wanted to ask actually is about the, you made mention of the fact that 52 also wrote before now, and nothing was done to that regard. Now, do you think that this, statement made by the 44 lawmakers at this point is going to yield any fruit? With the body language of the administration and the way the case is going, the fact that James Omotosho have already told him that he has forfeited his right now to call for defense, waiting for 20th to come up and all that. Do you think that the president in this case is going to look at what the lawmakers are saying and, granting?
It will help. It will help. In fact, if there are more space, let other group write. Yes, if there are more space, let other group write. By the time they flooded us all up with their petition to release Nakal, somebody will listen here. Because prevention is better than cure. With the way this young man is, becoming restless in court, is enough for you to say, what are you keeping? Because everybody have said it. That Nnamdi Kanu does not have any charge. Based on the facts on the ground, that you threatened, you said something with your mouth. Please, say something and killing somebody. Which one is worse? No, people should answer me this question. Going to wipe out an entire village than saying, I will deal with you, I will do this, I will do that. Which one is worse in nature? And so when you are holding in the candle, there will be a charge that you can do what? You can validate and you can defend. Right now, the federal government have nothing. If they have something, the appeal court wouldn't have released him. Yes, the appeal court released him. Okay. When Michael Zuckerman, the professor of law himself, handled that case. In fact, after that case, the man had to kneel down and thank God for the mercy he had done. So what are you people telling me here?
Okay, but Barrister, before we bring in our virtual guests, I would like to, you recall that a few days ago, like less than 2 weeks or thereabout, or in a fortnight or more, we had Omoyele will lead a protest in Abuja to say, look, release Nnamdi Kanu. At that point, there was a debate going back and forth. Do you think that protest yielded any result?
It didn't. So if he did, there wouldn't have been another 44 people writing on his behalf. And I think this thing letter they wrote is more understanding because written documents is superior even in court than oral. Because you can deny oral, you know. So this one that they wrote, Tinubu cannot tell me that he did not see it, or the Attorney General. Yes, that's the issue here.
Thank you, Barrister Darlington. Let's take the conversation to Oka, where we'll have Dr. Dennis Ekemeze, who happens to be the former Vice President of Nigerian Institute of Public Relations and former Vice Chairman of NIPR Governing Council. He's a commentator also, as well as a political analyst. Good morning, Dr. Dennis Ekemeze. Good to have you join today's conversation. I would like you to unmute your device if you can hear me. Good morning. Good morning. All right, good to have you. Okay, let's start. Let me ask this question first. People are written to the president to ask or to seek for the, release of Nnamdi Kanu, the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu. But on the cover page of the National Daily today, I think the Guardian newspaper, we saw another story where some people are pointing fingers to Biafra, saying that the Biafran lobbying network happens to be the people fueling the Christian genocide campaign in U.S. at this point. And in Nigeria, they have designated IPOB to be a terrorist organization, even when a court ruled against that. But we saw how it is. They've been proscribed as a terrorist organization. And the Nnamdi Kanu is standing a reasonable trial. What do you have to say about this, please?
Well, let's discuss the letter written by 44 members of House of Representatives to rekindle the demand or the request or the appeal for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, which has been long overdue. Coming from the background that people who committed more criminal offenses have already been released, given clemency by the president. And the issue that Igbos are not begging or they didn't come down to kneel for this. Do we remember that an elderly statesman like Mbazulika Amechi, the man requested that he should be his last wish for his own release, for the release of Nnamdi Kanu, and it wasn't done. And Mbazulika Amechi is dead, including the president. He made a request. The expectation in the Southeast is that the president should have used it as a part of what we do. He ought to have done to mark Nigerian independence. And now that people are now, the legislators have written. Of course, if you study the list, it cuts across Nigeria. It's not only the Igbo people demanding. The issue of IPOB, I think it should be a separate issue, though Nnamdi Kanu is being tied to it. Advisors and the Attorney General of the Federation should listen to the voice of reason. It was national reconciliation. The 3R, of course, we know that is not properly, it has not been fully implemented. And this is part of it. I think demanded legislators cut across the country, Nnamdi Kanu'S, they appeal to Mr. President. Mr. President should listen to the voice of reason. I think that is the point.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Kemeze. Let's get you join the conversation. Calvin Ejumudo, National Secretary, Human Rights Protection Congress, a Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Delta State on Human Rights Affairs. Good morning, Calvin. I would like you to unmute your device if you can hear me, please.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Good to have you join today's conversation. We're discussing an interesting one, which I believe most Nigerians are eager also to hear or listen to. The 44 lawmakers writing a letter to the president seeking that the president at this point should release Nnamdi Kanu. And then they say if they are to do this in one of the requests, because this particular letter we're looking at has a 2-page, and they cited the need for national reconciliation and stability, saying that if Nnamdi Kanu is being released, it's going to make Nigeria to be stable again. And then people, especially those of the eastern part of the nation, will not be calling or agitating to secede from Nigeria. What do you make of that later? And also the hope of the lawmakers at this point that if he's being released, that it will bring stability in Nigeria, with us having what's played out before now that led to the civil war. They talk about marginalization. And up until today, the people of Southeast are still talking about being marginalized and how they are not being included in Nigerian governmental affairs.
Thank you very much. Like the saying goes, you don't beat a child and expect the child not to cry. If you beat the child, certainly the child must respond by crying. Now it is a wake-up call and a call for action by the lawmakers, calling on President Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu GCFR to, as a matter of urgency, release Nnamdi Kanu to be set free and reunite with his family. Having said that, it will also bring normalcy to the Southeast, because most of the agitation centers around them being marginalized, and also Nnamdi Kanu being unlawfully over-detained, even after being granted, freedom by the court. So it looked as if it's a personal vendetta being meted on his person. And on several occasions, his lawyers have come out to say he is not feeling well and all of that. The Nigerian government debunked it and also brought in the enemy to check his medical status. In all of this, it will also bring normalcy. If it's granted freedom, it will bring ease to the issues, the insecurity, and some other agitations going in the Southeast. Because one thing the government must understand, that at this time there is need to unite the people together, because Nigeria is heading towards a failed state, and God forbid if that happens, where a sovereign nation can no longer defend its sovereignty of its people, then external interference becomes inevitable. And when that happens, people resort to also self-help. Because the worst thing that can happen to a man or any nation is when you sit in your house and an intruder comes in and take on your family while you are there, take on you, and you can't fight back and nothing can be done. And the government, who swore on oath to defend you as well, they are also helpless in this circumstance. We agree that the Niger Delta region has been very calm of late. Kudos to our stakeholders in Niger Delta. The Southeast, sometimes it boils, sometimes it's cool. The North is having issues. The Southwest, we have boundary creeping into Southwest. At the end of the day, we saw what happened yesterday in Kwara when they invaded the church. All of this is not the time to put people into anger, because emotions are rising. People are talking. Some even in a quiet state, things are going through their mind of what to do. Vengeance looms in the affairs of the country. People are bitter. People are hungry. People are vexed. People are looking for where to avenge their frustration into. So the government must be sensible to listen to the plight of the people. And thank God it's coming from the lawmakers. All right. They understand the rhetoric of the law. They've looked into it closely and said, okay, if this man is released, it will calm the Southeast for them, and other things can fall into place. Because
All right,
nothing
thank you very
thrives
much,
in an environment of chaos and conflict and crisis. But when there's peace, then a nation can build on that and we can get to the next level.
All right,
But
then. Thank you
outside
very much,
that,
Kevin.
giving
Let me
deaf
ask
ear
you.
to okay.
Permit me to button at this point. Let me just ask you a very quick one, and then I'll bring it to Barrister Darlington here to answer the same question. Do you think the release of Nnamdi Kanu will put to rest the agitation for Biafra?
It will ease it for the now, but I know even outside Nnamdi Kanu, some other generation will come up as well, and also bring an agitation that will come up and say we want to go our own way. We've been marginalized over the years. We want to go our own way, but for now it will help to bring normalcy because he has most of the boys, they are loyal to him, and the old men don't carry guns. The old men don't go to battlefield. It's the youth, the vibrant youth that go to battlefield, and he controls a large number of them in the southeast. And they are the ones agitating. So if it comes out that it's released today, certainly to bring ease and normalcy to the southeast. And government can negotiate their way through going forward to see how they can strike a better balance for ease.
All right, isn't it for the now? Barrister, I would like you to react to that question. But my next question would be, do you think government wants it to be eased off now or put to rest entirely? Barrister, go ahead, please.
Good. When they released Mandela after 27 years in detention or in prison, and they asked him something similar to what you're asking me now, that now that he has come out and all that, is the ANC going to preach peace and all that? Mandela told them that if the situation that warranted what ANC did comes up again, that he will repeat the same thing. No. What is wrong in treating people equally in a country? A very prominent ethnic group in Nigeria that are contributing so much. Why would you sideline them in everything? In this country today, Ogun State have 4 prominent ministers in government. Igbos only 1. Oh my. Please. The whole South is so, but in the South is one state alone. One state. Prominent ministers.
But the issue is, does those in government, do they think that they are being sidelined? Do they think that they're not given equal opportunity? Because we heard Senator Umahi say, look, he is a major minister. He's worth more than 2 or 3.
Well, that man is an APC man. We know them for propaganda. Whether they are in or out of government, as long as they're an APC person. I've told you here, the criteria for you to be given
those on the ministerial list are APC.
Sorry?
Those on the ministerial list right now are supporters of the APC. That's the party in government.
That's what I'm telling you now. When it comes to appointment of this nature, you go back to the federal character principle. Is that not what should be done? We have never had it so bad. In Buhari, yes. But why do you continue the same thing? Is that not what is causing agitation everywhere?
Oh, yes.
So,
Ojuku's wife, Bianca Ojuku, is also a minister. Isn't that?
Is the junior minister, Moses
okay, so that's the junior minister.
We deserve it because of
I'm not defending. We are looking for balance here.
Yeah, no balance at all. Because look, if you are giving more, if you are contributing more, you are expected to have more. But we're not even bothered. Moses, let's go back to that. Who is contributing more to this economy? In terms of,
can you say only Igbos are contributing?
Did I say more? I said more.
How
Tell me, mention it.
How so?
You say what?
How so?
From what happening at Computer Village to Ladybug Supermarket to Aspanda to what's it called? That one at that electronic hub in the whole of West Africa. Do you know how much Lagos State generates from those places alone? Mention any other place. Such a thing is happening in any other region in Nigeria. Just give me one example. How much did they contribute to Lagos State government and by implication Nigeria in all these places, Mr. Moses? In terms of going around the whole country, adding value to their environment, creating value. Everywhere the Igbos go in Nigeria, they add value, they develop it. Mention any other ethnic group that got to the Imo State or to any other place and develop it on their own. And this place is noted for, yeah, the Hausas are doing so well here. The Yorubas are doing so well. Look at what they are doing. Look at how many buildings were built in Lagos State here that is adding value to the state of Lagos State.
Well,
or in the north. I'm giving you examples now. So, for an ethnic group that is doing all this, do you need to... Is that what?
Some will disagree with you.
In what way?
Some will say, I mean, we see this, and some will say that the Igbos basically just dominate and try to suppress those that are from the land. That's the argument.
Moses, you are sounding like a saboteur here. Are we talking
of like I said,
are we talking of dominating?
Barrister, we are trying to create a balance.
No, please don't balance it when there's no balance. Look, are you contributing?
We are trying to create a balance.
No, don't do that. Don't do that, please. Don't do that. Dominate. You mentioned who are we dominating?
It's a national television.
Listen, whom are you dominating? Can you imagine? You are taking me to somewhere else. Please, is there any place the Igbos have gone and said, I am going to stay here by force? No, I am going to stay here by force. They did not buy the land. They are not paying for it. Mention the place. Do you know the meaning of domination?
Some would also say that.
There are no domination here. They are working with their own energy.
Barrister, some would also say, I mean, these are things that we hear on social media. And some will say that getting land to buy in the east is difficult for those that are not from the south.
Who came out to tell you that you wanted to buy land in the south, they did not sell for you? Who came out?
Some people have said.
So who? Let the person come out, and I will show you examples in this. Even to even rent a house, they don't give the Igbos here. It's on record. To rent a house, not that the Igbos don't pay or they don't want you to rent a house, but you deliberately every propaganda is against the people because of what? Their energy, their industry. Is there any other thing that the Igbos are hated for? Is there any other thing Moses? But look at people who are killing people and taking their land. You people are not talking about it. I don't like this.
Okay, I don't like it. Barrister, essentially, what we are saying is that do you think that the release of Nnamdi, your position is that if Nnamdi is released and the issue of marginalization continues, that he will go back to the 20s? Or that the people will go back?
Not only Nnamdi, I tell you, he will go back to UK.
Okay.
Because the citizen of that country, he may go back there. But if he continues here, somebody may rise up who may be even worse than Nnamdi Kanu. I told you here that there are 1,001 Nnamdi Kanu waiting on the wings. You don't know when they will rise up.
So don't you think the government would want to continue to try this, see this case through some sort of trial to ensure that any other possible agitator will understand and probably fold?
Did this stop after Ojukwu? Did this stop Nnamdi Kanu?
But it took a number of years. It took a number of years.
It took what?
A number of years.
No, because the reason for Biafra is even worse now than before. And all the things that Ojukwu said that Abuja Accord is happening 10 times over. And even at that, the Igbos have been generated from that coup and that war. So what are you people saying here?
Barrister, are we having an Igbo problem in Nigeria?
Is that what?
Are we having an Igbo problem in Nigeria?
You should ask the government to. You should ask them. Yes, ask them what is that thing that the Igbos have done. Even when the Babangida wrote a book exonerating the Igbo, they still insist. One primate, to whom I don't know who called him a pastor, was talking rubbish the other day that the Igbos can never do Nigeria. They are the problem of Nigeria. I said, what is all this? No, look at that. They mentioned that thing that the Igbos have done. Nobody have told me. Are the Igbos the Muslim people killing people in the north? What does start from there? The worst thing you can do to a man and his family is to kill them. That's the worst thing. Barrister,
a lot of people believe that it is not Nnamdi Kanu that is on trial, that it is the Igbo nation.
Exactly.
Do you agree with that?
Exactly. That's why that primate could say what he said. And we kept quiet too. Mr. Koro, when he said it, did anybody reply him from the southeast? Any pastor, don't you have Igbo pastors? They kept quiet. These are the things they like. Whenever they tell you things, you keep quiet. Don't talk, don't reply, because you are not a human being. Look at a whole pastor. Because he's hungry, he's looking for money. He wants to please his paymaster. That's why he's using the Igbo to catch cruise. A pastor. I don't know. Do you know the meaning of primate? Primate is the little ones of a puppy. I mean, of a dog. That's the meaning.
That's not malign.
Really? Are you serious? You have started that. So when you were malign, you didn't talk, Abi. You can see you now.
I've started.
You have started, yes. When you were talking, he didn't say some Igbos. He said Igbos. He didn't say some.
I'm from the southeast. I'm from Imo State like you.
Really?
Yes.
I don't know how you came about this.
Now
I
you
don't
know. Now you know. But Barrister, I understand I will have to let you go. But let's go to Oka and conclude this conversation by asking Dr. Ekemezie this very important question. Now, Dr. Ekemezie, do you think that the release of Nnamdi Kanu will bring lasting peace in the Southeast in terms of, not marginalization, in terms of insecurity in the Southeast?
It will.
Okay.
In the sense that the young ones agitating will feel pleased. And just like Darlington said, would we look at history on what happened in South Africa when Mandela was released? I think the agitation comes as a result of inherent balkanization, division caused by the policies of the government. If government addresses its policies to include other ethnic groups, involve the Igbos who have the ability, what the question going round makes one to feel alienated. I think in economies, competition is allowed. And competition beefs up demand and supply. And that is where the energy of an Igbo man comes from, to rise up and then be able to grasp the existing realities on the ground. The release of Nnamdi Kanu will please every member of Igbo nationality. What if he comes out, he starts the agitation, let us look at that word. When we reach the bridge, we know how to cross it. Please. It is long overdue. Before 44 legislators have demanded for it.
Okay. All right, I'll take that as a concluding talk. Thank you very much. We'll encourage you to stay with us as we get into the next topic of discussion. But before we do that, activist Kelvin Ejumudo, I would like to have your concluding thought on this matter, the release of Nnamdi Kanu, as requested by the 44 lawmakers. What's your concluding thought on this?
My concluding part is the presidency must listen to the voice of reasoning and the voice of the people, because the voice of the people is the voice of change, and the lawmakers have spoken, Igbo elites have spoken, we are CSOs and activists who have spoken in this regard, that the young man should be released and be reunited with his family. He's been traumatized in detention, you've not been properly tried and all of that, and it doesn't all go well, because by so doing you feel you're trying to suppress him, but we think a younger hero, a younger dictator will arise and will do more mayhem than what they are accusing Nnamdi Kanu of doing. So to avert that, it should be released and reunite back to his family.
All right, and thank you very much.